This is a Poeartistry Gold Moment by the author James Lynch.
Hi, perceptive reader, and welcome to this Poeartistry Gold Moment. I wrote something on my social media page, several of them, a few days ago, and I wanted to revisit what I was talking about because I said, no, I want to save this and save this with the ears of even my perceptive readers on this Poeartistry Gold Moment. It actually does surprise me as much as I've branched out from talking about science fiction, but literally talking about Star Wars and even George Lucas as much as I have over the years. Now, I don't think I've talked about George Lucas no more than a handful of times, but this is still something that I want to address because it was from another social media post that had all these, bright graphics and colors and basically showing Star Wars. You see, it had more than several characters in it, but it was mentioning what they were planning on doing with making new movies. You see what I'm saying? New series. And if the fans had any ideas of their own about it or how they felt about it. So you can just imagine around the world, many fans coming up with their own concepts. And when it came to me, right, it's like, it's not something I even had to think too hard on. Why? Because it probably was a concept going on in my brain one way or the other. You see, for my own little sci-fi out there stories. But still, this is what I want to mention because this does get specific. The concept that came to my mind, which I said I'm not going to write down, and the only way I would actually tell the scope of the concept is if I really was requested to do so. And otherwise, I say I would just keep it in my mind. But let me tell you something else as far as the ability for that same type of storyline concept that went through my mind to start the series. Because one of the things that I mentioned in my post that I even think if George Lucas had heard what my concept is that's in my mind right now, I even said, I bet you he would probably get a kick out of it, you see. And I'm really just saying that, not, how people say a shameless plug, but no, I'm really saying I think he would get a kick out of it. All the same, I want to let you know as well that when I ran over the concept in my mind, and I've done it several times now over the past week, I started saying, okay, could this concept work? And then I started thinking about other sci-fi series and, some of my favorite series. And see, I can name this in my a little commentary here about Poeartistry Gold. I was saying, now, could this work in the Star Trek series? Could this work in Babylon 5? And then, I thought of some other ones. And guess what I came to the conclusion on? And this is why I say I know this is a great concept. Because, yeah, in every series, because, sometimes people say nothing is new under the sun. And you can still take storylines that's just been written over thousands and thousands of years and continue to put them in theater and movies and things of this nature. But let me tell you what the epiphany that I came to on. Sure, this concept in one way or the other could work maybe in Star Trek somewhat, but it would certainly not work on the same level as it would in one of George Lucas's Star Wars. You see what I'm saying? Same thing. I came to the same conclusion with Babylon 5. And I came to the same conclusion with, some other thoughts or sci-fi series. And when I came to those conclusions, that made me say even more. So, yeah, I know I got something there as far as this concept. as far as it really being designed, if you will, to work with Star Wars, what we know about it, you see, in general. And that's how I came to my conclusion again. I said, yeah, this is a good concept. And I was saying to myself, how you have some people who say they can read your minds and stuff like that. And in this case, I was saying, now let me see if somebody ends up, writing in the blog post, etc. Whatever, when they talk with others, if they would end up coming up with this concept that I have in my mind. Because not only do I have this concept, but then because I was thinking about doing this Poeartistry Gold moment on it, everything started developing even more. It's almost like, man, I'm getting the script coming out in my brain now. But that's not what I wanted to do. I had just mentioned I could probably write this concept down on just one page, use up one whole page, and could sell that idea. And I'm not saying necessarily for money. I'm just saying that as an expression that I know somebody would see it and say, now that's gold. And I would say, yes, that's Poeartistry gold. Either way, have a wonderful day. And if you want to talk more about it, go to buymeacoffee.com/James Poeartistry. And hey, I'll correspond with you there. This was just a regular commentary I wanted to share with you today, a Poeartistry Gold commentary. Take good care of yourself, perceptive reader.